Hello, Headline Heroes fans. It's your boy, Drew, coming at you. This week was a bit difficult for us all to record. We had vacations on this Labor Day weekend, weddings and whatnot that we had to get to, so we thought it would be fun to give you a special edition, and this one's a bit different than other special editions we've done. We wanted to give you a taste of another podcast that we all really enjoy. It's the Pop-Up Filmcast. It's hosted by Keith and Derek, both of whom have guested on our show in the past. The Pop-Up Filmcast is soon to be, if not already, your favorite movie podcast in which Keith and Derek delve into, and a guest, delve into a box of old movies and talk about them, create some fun imaginary plots to go along with them. If you like our podcast, you are sure to enjoy this one. This particular episode is even a little bit different from what they normally do. It was one that I guested on, in which our goal was to create a made-up movie, an entire movie, and it just got kind of crazy. I think the only prompt we had was that it had to be an action movie, so we had a lot of fun with it. Jokes were had, many laughs. I would encourage you to listen to this, and also if you want more, head on over to the Pop-Up Filmcast. Not only do they have their plethora of various guests and on their normal format, but there is also a sequel to the episode that you are about to listen to. That episode, the sequel, premiered on July 2nd, so if you're hungry for a little more, I would encourage you to head on over to their feed and give it a listen. Without further ado, here is the Pop-Up Filmcast with the episode Captain Hooktail.
Today's Pop-Up Filmcast is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Tanner, and we are the hosts of Headline Heroes.
Every week we take a bizarre, out-there article,
Germans build underground pipeline for beer,
and attempt to create a superhero or villain.
The obvious one is that they have a giant robot that runs off of beer.
Along the way, we discuss powers, design a costume, and of course, struggle with a name.
Graham Sam? No.
Sam, no!
And inevitably, we get off subject and talk about the really important stuff.
I did go to Bill Engvall's website, and I just want to tell you a couple of things I'm seeing here.
Please do, I wish you would. But we always arrive with the super creation we are proud of. Join Headline Heroes every Tuesday as we try to make reality a little more super.
Hello, greetings, good day. My name is Keith Galla. Welcome to a brand new and very special new episode of your soon-to-be, if not already, favorite movie podcast. It's the Pop-Up Filmcast. And joining me, as always, my co-host, Derek Glasscock. Derek, welcome back to the show.
Ahoy, hoy.
Well, Derek, it is now March. We have made it through Oscar season.
We have.
And there was some great winners around. I think they covered all the bases for me as far as the movies I had seen or the movies I had heard enough about to know whether I wanted to see them or not. Did you do very good on your Oscar picks? Did you make Oscar picks?
I was shut out in my Oscar pool. I got 0 right.
Oh, wow.
The moral of the story is to watch more movies.
That is true. That is always
Who
true.
knew a Hellboy fan fiction would win Best Picture?
At least one person did. At least one person. All right. And now that Oscars are done, we move into what is probably my favorite season.
Baseball?
No. Shamrock Shake season.
Fair enough.
Are you a fan of the Shamrock Shake?
I am not.
Well, that's no fun. They are hard to get down here. They are hard to find down here in the Atlanta area. So I have yet to have one this year. I am constantly trying to run around and find one here and there, and hopefully I will before the official season is over. I don't know exactly what that is, but you know. You literally have to drive, I think it's on the north side of Atlanta that they will have them. Rarely will they have them on the southern side where I'm at. And I've driven up and people, I've asked, I said, hey, do you have a Shamrock Shake? And they're like, what are you talking about? So it's a very odd thing.
It's a weird pocket of space that they don't understand what a Shamrock Shake is. I will play nice this time. Ask me again if I like Shamrock
No,
Shakes.
that's okay. You don't need to play nice, Derek. I'm fine. Do you have a seasonal beverage that you like?
Shamrock Shakes.
You son of a. All right. Well,
wait. Do they do pumpkin spice Shamrock Shakes?
Oh, that would be so disgusting.
Because I would definitely hate that.
A pumpkin shake?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had a Shamrock Shake. Just they look like green goo.
It's
I can't bring myself to
vanilla shake with some sort of, I'm sure, questionably FDA approved green stuff in it. But
anyway. Questionably approved. It's like there was some money passed under the table, a wink and a nod. The food scientists at McDonald's couldn't find something that passed enough to.
I think that was the post-credit scene of The Founder, is how they made the Shamrock Shake. So
there's a post-credit scene in The Founder.
Sure,
oh my god! I left as soon as the credits started rolling.
Well,
I look quite the fool.
If you are a brand new listener to the pop-up,
I'm sorry.
No, I think you're kind of catching on that.
No, I'm sorry for the brand new listeners.
You're catching on that things are a little bit odd here this week, and that's perfectly fine because we're having a bit of a different episode this week. We're gonna change things up for a week. It's March. It's the March Madness, as some would like to say. I think that's copyrighted, so maybe we shouldn't say that. But who knows? No. If the NCAA is listening,
post-Oscar season, I call it.
If the NCAA is listening, I think we'll still be okay. And with that, Derek and I decided that maybe we would break format. So instead of doing our usual pop-up of fabricating a fictitious film festival, we'd stick a little bit still to the theme of our name of a pop-up, but we're going to make a pop-up film. Basically, what we're going to do here today is we're going to start very basic. We will pick a genre and organically work our way through creating a movie. Derek and I used to hang out at local restaurants and just sit around chit-chat. occasionally, what would come around is this exact same thing where we would come up with a silly concept for a movie here and there. It was kind of a regular thing.
You realize there's somebody right now that just heard that, and they're awestruck. They're starstruck by how awesome we used to be.
Oh boy!
There's
not you and me though.
They used to hang out at restaurants.
Yes.
Whoa.
We didn't just text each other or IM each other with Messenger. We actually hung out together. We didn't record in opposite states. We used to hang out together. It's a weird concept. I know some people have a little trouble, but what we did is we used to just kind of, we used to BS around, and every now and then we come up with a silly movie, and I always thought that was a fun plan and something that it would have been cool to make some of those movies, but we never did. So we're going to try that here today. Now, in order to do that, Derek is very good with coming up with some of these crazy ideas. I do when I show up on the Wild Pitch, but I usually blank out when we're even trying to come up with names here on our show. So we had to go in and get a ringer. And that man joining us, an esteemed guest, as we like to say here, is one of the hosts of the Headline Heroes, where they create superheroes out of everyday headlines. It is Drew Mick. Drew, welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Keith. And Derek.
No, you don't need to thank me.
Well, thank you, Keith.
Oh, boy.
Ask me if I Shamrock Shakes.
Thank you for reminding me to ask you the question. Drew, before you tell us a quick bit about Headline Heroes, we would need the important stuff. Do you like Shamrock Shakes?
Yes.
Excellent.
I do. They're pretty darn good.
They're super tasty.
I haven't had one in many, many years, I don't think. But I think, you know what? After hearing about it tonight, I think that's finally, I'm going to go out and get it. Pretty easy for me to come by here.
I do think I know one place near my house, one of the McDonald's near my house that has them. I just, when I pass it, it's like early in the morning, and I don't think a Shamrock Shake is great for breakfast. So
now a Shamrock Shake is mint, right? Or am I just?
Are you sure you
like
Shamrock Shakes? Yeah, it's a vanilla shake with like this green minty stuff to give it a slight mint taste.
but maybe I'm making that
No,
up. I don't remember.
I love them. It's my favorite seasonal drink of the year.
They are pretty good. I will be
That and pumpkin spice are the only two seasonal drinks that I know of. So one's my favorite. There we go.
like, isn't like eggnog is a seasonal drink?
Oh,
was gonna
yeah.
say
I don't like
eggnog.
eggnog, so I guess that's nasty.
peppermint mochas, maybe.
That's why I wouldn't have thought of that one, I guess.
Oh, what about the barbecue rib smoothie?
That's not a thing.
Oh, my favorite.
4th of July
Where's
barbecue
that at?
smoothie. I like that.
Where
Wasn't
is
my-
that at?
What? Where's the
That is not
Planet
true.
Smoothie?
Off of Famous Dave's. They use Famous Dave's ribs.
Don't
And
toy-
they
don't
they
toy
just
with my
grind those up,
Yeah,
bone and everything.
Well, no, the bone, they hollow out the bone and you get to use it as a straw. They chocolate dip it
Mm.
and then you put it in there and then use it as a straw.
Don't toy with my
real-
emotions here, Derek. Okay, that's. Yeah.
I'm not toying with anything. I'm looking forward to
All right.
barbecue rib smoothie
As am
season.
I. I'm hoping that's a real thing. Drew, tell us quickly and briefly, tell us a little bit about Headline Heroes and what you guys are doing over there. I know the basic concept. Don't know if everybody here at the Pop-Up Filmcast listeners, if they know. But give a quick shout out for you and your boys.
Gladly, Keith. Thank you. So yeah, we are the Headline Heroes. Me and my co-hosts Nathan and Tanner. Every week we take a random news headline, usually pretty bizarre. So you know how you get those bizarre headlines, and we use that inspiration for a comic book origin story. So we tend to create some pretty goofy creations. Let's see. 80-year-old lady samurais all the way to bacon Frankenstein monsters. So yeah, give us a listen there.
All right, and then on top of that, you guys not only that, but you've been kind of world building around that those individual characters also.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's getting harder to do because there's just so many of the stuff, and it's hard to keep track of things. But every so often, we try to fit in a bit of a connection between heroes, and it's usually very small. Like, oh, what if this character, it's like this tertiary character that we were just kind of referencing, is related to this other superhero that we've created like 10 episodes ago. So yeah, it gets pretty fun there. Pretty complex and a little confusing if you haven't listened to the previous episodes. But yeah, we really enjoy doing it.
All right, and what days do those typically come out?
That is every Tuesday morning. So
all right, so listen to the Pop-Up Filmcast and Headline Heroes in your queue, or vice versa, because Drew is our guest, and you can listen to this first if you really want to. That's fine. But
we'll see how I'm feeling.
it is because of this character development and this world building that you guys do over there that I felt that you'd be an excellent guest for our first ever Pop-Up Film official cast of this podcast instead of just a film festival. Now, we are going to, I got a dice, a nice little 6-sided die here. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to pick a genre based on the dice. 1 is comedy, 2 is drama, 3 is sci-fi, 4 is action adventure, 5 is western, 6 is crime. I'm going to roll the dice. After that, everything else we want to do is just kind of, organically and majority rules type style. So here we go.
All right.
It fell off the table. All right, we are doing an action adventure.
Ooh.
All right.
Yes, because when it fell off the table, it landed on 2, which was drama. And
It just doesn't count.
yeah, so Keith ended at 11:30. Just I want to tell you guys that, but we don't need everyone to know. All right, so we have landed on 4, and that is action adventure. So this should be fun because we could take this in a whole bunch of different ways. Obviously it can be a straight up action adventure, such as a Mad Max or even like an Expendables, things like that. It's something that those are the first 2 that came to my mind.
Testosterone films.
It can be, it could be something maybe like a Thor Ragnarok where there's a lot of comedy involved as well with it. So we can go all over the board here. Do either of you, I rolled the dice to pick action adventure. Do either of you have a subgenre of action adventure you'd like to to kind of go with so we can start narrowing down which ways our minds go on this.
I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was some sort of heist film, but I'm not sure if we can make that actiony and adventure-y enough.
Well, I mean, it's at least action. It doesn't have to be action and adventure. It's action /
true.
adventure. Action
so I guess,
or adventure.
I guess I will throw out a heist film. That's kind of what I was thinking. What else we got?
If people have listened to previous episodes, Derek's good at building a heist team.
Oh,
I've already assembled a team of heisters at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
I will be real honest. Action adventure is one of my least favorite genres of movies. Not that it's bad.
Well, then this would be perfect there because you can help. Since it's not your favorite, you can help make the perfect action adventure movie. For
I was really hoping for drama to come up, but here we are. I really I lean more towards the adventure aspect of action adventure.
Okay.
So things like I used to like swashbuckler movies when I was a kid.
Well, that could still involve a heist of some sort, right?
I was going to say pirate heist.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, a heist at sea.
All right.
No, that's something there.
It's not like Fast and Furious on the ocean or anything like that, right? We're not.
But what if it was Fast and the Furious with giant, slow-moving ships?
Okay, and that is the end of this episode. We're good. All right. No. All right, so all right, so a heist at sea. All right, I kind of like where we're going here. So maybe a pirate type movie in action adventure land here. So if we say it's a pirate movie, and our super basic plot is we're talking about a heist at sea. Now,
well, I mean, we don't have to do a heist at sea. I mean, that was just.
I like that idea.
The combination of you
steal stuff. Oh wait, that's a heist. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I thought pirates worked good. It's a swashbuckler. It's a heisty guy. I mean, he's always stealing stuff. He's stealing the booty, and that seems to work perfectly fine for me.
I'm a fan.
All right, if that's where you want to go.
If we got to turn the car around at some point, we can. But let's just see what we're going on this road first. All right, so we have a heist at sea. All right, is this taking place modern time? Are we talking about olden pirates? Or are we talking new modern age pirates? Is this Pirates of the Caribbean style or Speed 2?
Or what if? I mean, is it two very specific things, or can we create something entirely different? It could be like.
No, I meant like time wise, like it's a giant cruise ship that pirates are trying, maybe, or are we back in olden?
Is it Captain Phillips or is it Pirates of the Caribbean?
What if it's a different world altogether?
Whoa!
All right,
but still a sea, right?
Sure.
But this time the sea is in the
air. So wait, I'm sorry. Is it just spaceships then?
Yes.
All right, so we're steering away. We're going sci-fi heist. Oh.
I'll be back. Oh boy. Sorry, I had to get things back under control there.
Okay.
I'm starting to laugh a little too hard. All right.
I'm confused at where we're at. I don't know.
As all good movies should start, they should start
Yeah.
confusing and then work their way out throughout the course of 2.5 hours.
So, Derek.
All right, so we're doing a pirate heist, but Derek wants us in a different world. Derek, what kind of world do you want this in?
Oh, a world very similar to our own.
Okay, I think I could do that. That sounds. I think I could muster up some thought power to creating another world that's basically ours.
And this is still where pirates would be at sea in your world, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're still a heist at sea. All right. All right.
That was a very necessary shortcut that we took that ended up being a little longer than we thought it would be.
Yes, we wanted to see the world's largest ball of twine, and we ended up seeing a bunch of other stuff instead on that one.
That's the heist right there. There is a giant cargo ship carrying the world's largest ball of twine across the largest ocean in this world that we're creating. We can call it the Pacific Ocean, and it's so this giant ship is going across the Pacific, and it's holding the world's largest ball of twine. The twine, there's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a lot of twine. Cats. There's cats involved somehow. The pirates are cats. Yes.
Okay, that's it right there. Cat pirates.
And now then would it be dogs that are trying to move this thing across the ocean?
In a world run by dogs.
How about this? Everybody else is human except for the captain of the pirate ship, who is a cat person, and nobody thinks anything different.
A
They
cat
address
person, like
cat.
a person who likes cats?
No, like the Kashyyyk or the Kashyyyk from Skyrim. Like the person is a cat.
But it's not like a little cat. It is a full grown. Well, not full grown. Like a human.
No, I think it should be like a house cat sized human
Okay,
cat.
so Puss in Boots.
Possibly.
All right. Well, okay. Look, I like the idea of though that our captain is a cat person.
I like the idea of all the others being human because then there could be like maybe some mutiny. Like Captain is leading us. Like, why are we even going after this ball of twine?
They don't
Like-
realize that this person is feline at all. They think,
Now, is it like an illusion? Like that the cat is tricking them to make them believe that it is human, or is it like they just do not acknowledge that it's a cat?
nope, it just doesn't seem weird to them at all.
Okay, that's probably easier from a budgeting standpoint to do. Yeah, maybe.
All right. So our basic plot is humans on this planet that we're on, very similar to our own, are trying to go across the Pacific Ocean. It's a very large body of water. And on this barge, they are trying to take the world's largest ball of twine from our continent to another one where it's going to be on display in a museum or something, I'm assuming.
Yes. Well, there's a ball of twine, like World's Fair sort of thing, where all of the greatest balls of twine are coming to be put on display.
And we here in America have the world's largest ball of twine, and so we definitely need to have it there.
Yes.
And we have put
There's-
together
Or the America equivalent.
The American equivalent needs to show their might in the world balls of twine and put
Yes.
their big best ball of twine on display.
Yep, just lay our best big ball out there.
Yes.
All right. So we have that. And
There used to be 2 balls of twine,
Mm.
but cancer.
Oh, darn. Damn it.
okay,
Every time.
you go with that, and I thought you were going to say, but we'll save that for the sequel. That's where I thought you were going with.
No, they had to remove the other ball of twine. It was
I was actually thinking that maybe later on in the movie there would be a big switcheroo or something. I don't know. With somehow that other ball of twine, or maybe like they trick everyone to think that this ball of twine that we think is the target, but then they do
I like
something
that,
else.
yeah.
They replaced the ball of twine with a large ball of rubber bands.
Ooh, yeah.
Wrapped in
Get that in
tinfoil.
there.
Yes, but we'll have to get to that eventually. All right, so our main characters in this. So we're taking the largest ball of twine across the Pacific Ocean, and there's going to be a heist at sea led by a band of pirates whose captain is a cat person.
is a
Yes.
person who is a cat. Yes.
Okay. So let's start with our person who's a cat.
Yes.
Do you have a name in mind for this guy?
Admiral Meowkins.
Oh boy, this is gonna be editing fun. Admiral.
That's Jonathan K. Meowkin. Too.
Exactly.
Just editing out my laughing is all I'm really worried about at that point. Meowkins. All right. And was he born a cat and just evolved, or is there something that happened to him that we're going to find out in like the cold open of the movie?
Well, no. So I mean, this would be like a flashback. Right? He was born a cat person, and I don't know what led him onto his life of or her. Maybe it's a woman. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Was it like a replaced at birth thing where like parents got their baby replaced by this cat and the cat just grew up to be their kid?
Could be.
And
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the father was a fisherman, and so the father was a fisherman, took his cat child with him all the time then, and that's how the cat learns how to work a ship in order to become the admiral of this boat that he's going to use in order to catch the barge and steal the largest ball of twine.
Can I build on that, Keith?
Yes, absolutely.
What if it wasn't just that he was a fisherman? What if the father of this cat is actually in charge of like is not a pirate, but like some sort of like military thing, and in this movie is actually in charge of transporting this ball of twine?
Aha.
So then like there's some conflict.
As a hobby, he took his son, who happened to be a cat, his son or daughter, who happened to be a cat, with him fishing all the time, out on their family boat on weekends and family trips, and they spent a lot of time. He learned how to become an expert sailor, moved up to become, obviously, I'm assuming a self-appointed admiral at this point. But when his dad wasn't around, what he doesn't know is his dad is in charge of security for very important artifacts, such as the largest ball of twine. I hope we didn't just spoil the whole movie for everybody.
Well, we had to get to it eventually. Is the dad the captain of the ship? So then there's some like epic shots back and forth of the two captains.
Maybe not captain, but he's the one in charge of all the security. So he can overrank the captain of the ship at this point.
Good.
If he's worried that pirates are going to come aboard and steal it, he's the guy who kind of takes charge.
I dig it.
Now, is his last name Meowkins also?
Of course.
He is also a cat as well.
Okay.
But so
is okay. So his mother is the human.
Okay. He is also a cat, and that's the big reveal. Like they always show like some flashbacks of Admiral Meowkins as like a small kitten child, and they always show the dad like from the waist down, kind of like a Charlie Brown sort of situation. And
how are you?
Yeah.
But how are you supposed to realize that it's not a cat if it's from the waist down?
He
like, is there no tail?
He tucks his tail. He always.
The tail is always hanging to where like it's by the leg and you can never see it from the angle that
he's always telling Admiral Meowkins how important it is to be a strong person, try to be a human and fit in with the humans, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't be who you want to be just because you're a cat. So Admiral Meowkins' dad is I guess Captain Meowkins of the what was it? Super security. So I made up a name for it already. The security of the security of transportation of expensive and very important artifacts. That's Stevia.
What is that
The
again?
security
It's
of the
security and what?
transportation of expensive and very important artifacts.
Okay. All right. So his dad is in charge of that. Now, do we think that Admiral Meowkins knows his dad is assigned
I don't
to
know
this
why
one?
when you said Admiral Meowkins that time with a straight face, I assume it was a straight face. It made me laugh the most. All right, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm always talking with a straight face here. Does he know that his dad has been assigned to this? Is that how he knows the information already about wanting to try and steal it, or does he not even know that this is going on? So that'll be a huge that's a huge reveal in the movie, is when he finally finds out that his dad is the one who's in charge of the ship.
Maybe.
I think
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
it would be. I was going to say, I think it'd be more fun if he doesn't know, or at least he pretends like he doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know where his dad's been assigned all the time.
Maybe his dad left a long time ago.
And that's
leading to his life of crime.
that's why Admiral
And the
Meowkins.
cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
We're definitely gonna have to get that in the soundtrack.
I mean, it's got cats right in the name, so
Yeah.
or
We'll get a lot of Cat Stevens songs.
oh yeah,
Be fully catted out.
so much cat.
All right. So his father left at some time. That the mother didn't agree with all of his going off on these super secret missions or whatever. And they went separate ways. She kept the child. She raised him, but he always took those details about fishing that his father and sailing that his father once taught him, and somehow commandeered himself a ship that he is going to use to then. Him and his crew, they're going to go through and they're going to rob this barge that his dad is in charge of, carrying the largest ball of twine.
That's boy.
That is straightforward and perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so does Admiral Meowkins have a first name, like Admiral something Meowkins?
Well, I thought Drew said James K. Meowkins.
I said Jonathan K. Meowkins.
Jonathan K. Meowkins.
All right, K. Meowkins, and his dad is
Jonathan K. Meowkins Sr.
and he just goes by J.K.
Yeah, but J.K. Meowkins.
Yep. I think when we start casting this, I think it's obvious who the father's going to be played by as well. I think that's
J.K. Rowling.
exactly
The only JK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are some other key characters that we're going to have to fit into this? So then we can continue to work through the plot. What are some other? We're never really going to see. We're not actually going to ever see the mother, right? You just see her in flashbacks from the waist down, correct?
Well, no,
Maybe it's implied.
You always see her as a human. Like,
But maybe it's implied that she is no longer with us or something like that, which maybe has left Jonathan K. Meowkins to be a pirate now. It's not so much a character, but I think we have to name at least the main pirate ship that Admiral Meowkins.
yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I don't know if we want to get to that now, or we'll just continue with characters.
Well, the ship can be a character.
Much like the DeLorean in Back to the Future, as we've mentioned on previous normal episodes, it's a character in the movie itself. It brings something extra to life there, and this one's going to have to do the same.
The litter box.
Whatever it is, the ship needs to be covered in carpet,
Why?
like a cat tree.
Inside and out.
That's how the
Yeah. Well, yeah, like
how
that.
they get up to
inside where
the
they walk.
lookout.
Yeah. I mean, like, no, just like you've ever seen like a cat tree, it's covered in carpet so the cat can claw it.
What kind of boat are we talking about here? Is it like a big yacht? Is it a fishing boat? What are we?
Well, they're pirates. I would imagine a pirate ship.
All right, yeah. Well, it looks like a pirate ship, but maybe it has some other power source, so that it can keep up with like a barge or
Even if they have some other powers, like it can manipulate time or something.
and host a human cat hybrid that people can't see at all as a cat. So all right, all right. I don't think I'm a big fan of the litter box as a name, but we could start there. I was thinking almost like the name of the ship should be good enough that it potentially could even be the name of the movie itself.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we don't want to call the name of the movie something you literally poop in. So,
well,
yeah.
Depending on how we end this movie, it could actually still be, but that's okay.
There was a ship named the Fancy.
The Fancy Feast.
I was thinking Fancy Cat or Fancy Feast, yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's hitting me right.
All right, we can come back to that one again. I mean, we don't have to have a name of the ship right away, but we do know now though that even though we're in a more modern time in this world that's very similar to ours, as Derek has pointed out, it's a pirate ship, but it's not just powered by the wind and sails. It's got some sort of a nuclear reactor engine or something that gets it going around. But it's got that classic old style feel, and I do believe Admiral Meowkins, he dresses like your typical swashbuckling pirate.
Yeah. The rest dress like Somali pirates, and he dresses like a classic like Jolly Roger sort of pirate.
And if anything, if they think the cat is weird because of anything, it is because of the way he dresses, not because he is a cat. Not at all.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the way that he dresses. Oh, maybe he always has like a little bandana or something in front of his face, and that's why they never
nothing
can tell.
to do with its height or anything. It's the bandana.
Still has cat ears and tail, and it's calico in nature.
Well, they're covered by his hat, his big pirate hat, like the big huge hat with the feather coming off of it. And
sometimes he plays with the feather.
The first mate, walks in on the captain cleaning himself, and no one ever says anything. Like, oh, you're sitting here licking your own butthole, Captain. Yeah.
Well, also he has most pirates they do have like the parrot on their shoulder, but he's just got like a cage and there's just some random bones that look like they've been picked over.
I had a parrot at one.
Yes, he had a parrot at one time. First mate though, Drew, I think you were going to suggest potentially a name for our first mate because he's probably a key member of this, right?
Absolutely. Now, should the first mate be a woman? Like we need a strong leading lady, and maybe this would be.
Well, is Admiral Meowkins a man or a woman?
Well, Jonathan K. Meowkins.
Yeah.
I don't want to assume gender on Jonathan K. Meowkins, but we are writing the movie, so it's a man.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we're going to go with that. I totally overlooked that because I just remember earlier Derek said, who knows if we'll find that out later. But yes, obviously Jonathan K. Meowkins is male. So yes, his first mate probably should be female.
Yes. Now,
and she's just your average run of the mill human, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing cat about her.
No.
Nothing cat about her except maybe her name somehow.
Yeah, is every character going to be named some sort of cat pun, even though they're human?
Her name is people call her Callie, but her full name is Calico.
Ooh, That's good. Calico.
It's either that or Katrina, and they called her Cat. But I think Callie, Calico,
Calypso.
There you go. That's got a very pirate name to it. By the way,
Calico Calypso. Calico Calypso.
Yes.
All right.
So the captain of the barge.
By the way, Drew, if ever and Headline Heroes, you do need to use the name of Calico Calypso. Please feel free.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, you can't. That is now our.
No. Admiral Jonathan K. Meowkins, no. But if you ever want to use Calico Calypso, feel free.
TM. I got you.
I will send the paperwork over afterwards.
Okay. Sounds good.
So Admiral Meowkins is chasing this barge. The barge is being piloted by Captain Catherine Nip.
Oh, yeah.
So Captain Catnip is being chased by Admiral Meowkins.
Oh, he's chasing that catnip.
Yep.
All right, and that is that's the captain there, and then so his father is not really a captain. Then his father is something else.
He is.
He's captain of the security.
Is admiral the highest you can go, or is there something above admiral?
Super Admiral.
Yeah, in this world, it's super admiral. That's really all the thing you can, unless you want to be superior admiral.
I think super admiral works. All right, so the father is actually Super Admiral Meowkins because he has to overrank everybody on the ship.
And he could steer the ship, but he's so high up in this military that it's kind of beneath him. So he leaves it to Catherine Nip.
Mm-hmm. And he's only called in when there's a real big problem, such as pirates attacking the ship.
Yeah,
they go to his, you won't even see him for most of the first act. You finally meet, you'll see him in a flashback or something, but you'll finally see him when they finally have to, they'll reference him, but as soon as the pirates attack, somebody will be like, we have to go get the Super Admiral, and they go and they knock on his door and it opens up. And he's just chilling out in his little thing.
So I just vomited. I was trying to take a drink of Diet Coke. I need to go get.
That's what I think of your idea.
No, a Super Admiral Diet Coke. It's not coming out my nose. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we're gonna mark off here that at the 40-minute mark, send to the Blunder Dogs podcast.
I just vomited.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. This is going along smoothly.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, how do you think it's going?
We'll probably never do this again. This is absolute ridiculousness. No, no. I think we're doing good. We've got our four main characters.
Yes.
Meowkins and Calico Calypso and Super Admiral Meowkins.
I'm back. Sorry.
Who's in charge of Stevia? Welcome back to the show. Ahoy hoy.
Ahoy hoy.
And can the ship be called the Ahoy hoy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because we're gonna keep this very well connected to the show. All right, so Admiral Meowkins is in charge of the SS Ahoy hoy.
Hoy hoy.
There we go.
So does that mean the title of the movie is the SS Ahoy?
No, we can come up with something else for a title. I think that's a good name for the ship somehow. I think that works. It didn't have to be the name of the ship. I just thought maybe that could work.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just needed some reason for you not to pick litter box.
Damn it! I'll work it in here somehow.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I'm sure there's got to be at least one, kind of gag thing where somebody steps in a litter box in an accident, right?
Yeah, probably.
And still doesn't get that there's a cat person on board.
Yeah.
Also, would a cat person still use a litter box?
I don't know. It's our world.
I mean, when you're a pirate, you do whatever you want.
Pretty much.
This is true. Okay, so all right. So we have a pirate heist movie. It's at sea. There's a barge that's being driven by Captain Katniss Nip and being overseen by Superior Admiral J.K. Meowkins, head of Stevia Security. And they're trying to take the largest ball of twine across the ocean, where pirates led by Admiral Jonathan K. Meowkins and his first mate Calico Calypso, they are moving along in their hybrid of a old timey pirate ship with new timey engine type thing, the SS Ahoy Hoy, and they are looking to steal that ball of twine. All right.
So, I would like to introduce a Chekhov's gun, if I may.
Okay.
Okay, so the nuclear reactor that powers the ship emits all kinds of light, right? It's like shoots like beams of light around as it's like generating, and the captain, Admiral Meowkins, stays away from the engine room because he's easily distracted by the lights.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So he stays away from that area if he can. Right. There's my Chekhov's gun. Maybe there's a situation where Meowkins has his crew as they're planning the heist, and he's like stabbing a knife into a map and like drawing some stuff, and like he pulls out like a pocket watch, or somebody else pulls out a pocket watch to look at it, and it like shoots a beam of light onto the table, and then Admiral Meowkins sits there and bats at it for way too long, way too long, and everybody's like, "What's wrong?" And then he's fighting through it, like he can't stop. He's like, "Put the watch away," and then finally someone puts the watch away and he goes back to normal. So there's my Chekhov's gun.
Can I add to that with what if that's in this engine room is where the final fight between
that's my Chekhov's gun, and then his dad has to save him. Yeah, but I just wanted to set that up for future. That's my.
I think that's early on that we see that kind of scene, so that we know that there's something a little off with this captain. Not everybody else has picked it up yet, but we've noticed that there's something a little off because he's very distracted by shiny little lights and stuff like that.
Oh, the engine room? Oh, the captain doesn't go down there. It's beneath
Admiral
him.
Meowkins doesn't go down there. So now, let's say Admiral Meowkins has fond memories of his father, but he also kind of resents his father for reaching the rank of super admiral, and just that idea makes me laugh. Super admiral. So he resents him a little bit because he made super admiral, and Admiral Meowkins has not been able to rise to the rank of super admiral of the pirates.
Is Admiral Meow? Is he legitimately an admiral, or is he just claimed admiral?
No,
it's probably self-styled.
The first mate keeps bringing up the fact that it's self-appointed, and you could call yourself super admiral. But Admiral Meowkins believes that there is a rite of passage to get to super admiral,
and that rite of passage is stealing this largest ball of twine from the ship his father is in charge of security of. I'm the super admiral now.
Yeah, but he never steals the ball.
Takes his hat.
because the rite of passage all along was inside of him. He just needed to he just needed to save his dad or whatever.
And what's that inside of him? Oh, it's a big old hairball.
Yes, that's the rite of passage. Was coughing up an enormous hairball. It was in me all along. All right. Well, stealing the ball of the twine is the rite of passage.
At this point, this movie is about a cat. I didn't know.
It is a heist movie.
It is. I want to fit hairball into the title somehow now. But we can still get back to or that could work with a tagline of some sort for this. All right. So in the beginning, in the first act, we're going to get a bit of a flashback to showing the young Admiral Meowkins and his father, who we never fully see, and his mother, and you kind of get this idea that he doesn't exactly look like a cat then either, because he's not dressed like a pirate, but he's somehow we get around that again because people just don't seem to catch that part. And then we'll also have a scene where he's trying to explain how they're gonna go about the heist and how they're gonna catch the barge, etc. And somebody just has him messing with a watch. It catches the sun, and he's thoroughly distracted until he's trying to keep it under control, and he's about to just pounce over the table, and that's when we first meet Calico Calypso, because she walks over and she puts a hand on top of the watch. It's like, put that away.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. So that's how we've introduced her. Moving into, I guess, into Act 2, is that when that's when we're gonna finally meet the Super Admiral for the first time, officially, like seeing him completely.
Yeah.
Have we established that Admiral Meowkins is the hero of the movie?
Well, he's a pirate, so I guess he's
a lovable pirate.
He's kind of like an anti-hero. Like,
you really feel for him. Like, maybe in the establishing shots with the origin story of this cat, like, I don't know, it's just you do get enough like, I really feel for this cat, can relate to, like, maybe just growing up and not feeling like his dad was there for him, and maybe his mom died, so you just like, you're really rooting for this cat.
He's a hardened cat that
Yeah.
softens over the course of the movie.
His father left after a boating accident, which has left our young Admiral Meowkins with either a peg leg or a hook hand.
What about a hook tail or a peg tail?
Why?
So, but now, what if the boating accident separated the two, and Admiral Meowkins assumed his father was dead?
Or the other way around. No, the other way around.
Okay.
The other way around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So
So then the I
Admiral
like that.
Meowkins feels that he was abandoned by Super Admiral Meowkins so long ago.
That's how he was raised to be
Yes,
that.
that's what, he turned to a life of pirate. He grew up in the hard streets of he grew up in like the dingy part of some city called, it was lovably called the litter box.
Derek,
He
you
grew up in
did
the streets
it.
of the litter box as a literal cat
In-
person. Nobody else was a cat
nobody else
person,
is a
just
cat
him.
person in this place. So in the area that he was
Mhm.
referenced as the litter box.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Cat puns.
Yeah,
They're named after cats. I don't think we need to shy away from it at all.
All right, good. And yeah, and so his dad thinks he's been dead this whole time. Doesn't know that he's become this. Is this his first time being out as a pirate? No, he's managed to stock himself with a lot of piratey background. Just his dad has never. Does he have a separate nickname?
The hairball of the sea.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah, something so like nobody ever has really refers to him as. I mean, his crew refers to him as Admiral Meowkins. Callie Calypso refers to him as Jonathan, but most of the world knows him as something far worse, and thus his dad would never know that this is him.
Captain Rough Tongue.
Hooktail.
I thought it was.
Oh, because that's
is it a hook, is it a hook or a peg? I like the peg tail
because he can use it for stuff.
Okay, Hooktail.
Because I think there's gonna be some part where like he almost falls overboard, but the tail catches, and he's held on.
Oh, sure.
You know what? I'll be a wild card and say eye patch on his tail. Why not? Let's just throw that in there. No, but hook on the tail, I think is I like that.
Is the whole tail a hook, or just at the end of his tail's a hook?
Yeah, I think just the end.
I think at the end, and it's like it doesn't need to be there, but he put it on there because he lost a tiny bit at the very tip, and he considered like that was a huge loss, so he put the hook there.
And so worldwide he's known as Captain Hooktail, but he's really Jonathan K. Meowkins, who has self-appointed himself as an admiral, and in order to become super admiral, he needs to take down. He knows his dad is still alive. His dad doesn't know he's still alive. The only way he thinks he can really become a super admiral is to steal this largest ball of twine right out from under his father's nose.
Makes sense to me.
So obviously we're going to have boating scenes. We're going to have some scenes where do they try to do something very like, so Derek, you said they're not actually going to steal the ball of twine overall. It's more the lesson or something that he's trying to learn or in order to become super admiral of beating his father. So they're not actually going to steal the thing off there, but are they going to try and actually just take the barge for a while, or is it a distraction to get his father to maybe come over to the ahoy hoy for our final battle scene?
I think the intent is to steal that ball of twine, and maybe they actually do it for a little bit. And in the process of stealing that, him and his father lock eyes, and his dad realizes who that is. And,
at first, they don't recognize each other, but maybe there's some tell. Some tell that the cat that
he doesn't notice it by the tail with a hook on it. He knows that doesn't catch his attention. But at some point in time, as they're hustling around, the bandana slips off the face of Admiral Meowkins, and his father sees him, and they lock eyes. And it's this point that everybody around suddenly realizes also that we have two cat people here.
The father's just like, I know those whiskers anywhere.
So the admiral is as he's leaving the barge with the ball of twine, the world's largest ball of twine. His dad sees him and says, like, calls him by some childhood nickname, and that like in like an inquisitive way, like he doesn't know who he is, and then he catches him. He's like, Johnny Cakes. I don't know if that's his nickname or not, but and yeah, but some like endearing nickname that maybe you saw from a flashback,
I like Johnny Cakes.
and then they lock eyes, and then he runs off, and then so his dad has to try to get the twine back, and then Admiral Meowkins has a change of heart. Maybe I don't know.
In their big fight scene, because his dad is in pursuit, follows him back to the Ahoy Hoy. The ball of twine is rolling back and forth on the deck of the ship, and they're busy battling, and the lights from the nuclear power thing, they start to put out the crazy little rays. His dad gets distracted by it, almost falls over, or starts to fall overboard, and that's when Johnny Cakes swings his hooktail over, and his dad catches it at the last minute, and he pulls them back back on board. And his heart, which has been hardened over all these years, melts a little bit and eases up, and his dad and him, they have this bit of a moment, and at the same time you get the rest of the security team is starting to try and make their way over to the Ahoy Hoy, and his dad no, he doesn't call him off. He fakes a last little swing attempt to try and hit him, and instead dives over the end. So he safely gets into the water, not falling in crazily, and it allows the Ahoy Hoy to then jettison away safely.
Because now at this point, the Admiral has been like, I don't need the ball of twine. I don't need to be Super Admiral. I've always been Super Admiral, or something like that.
There'll be some kind of speech where he's like, I'm just as super as you, blah, blah, and his dad can say something like, Johnny Cakes, you've always been my Super Admiral. Everyone gets teary eyed, and there's tears all around for everyone watching this movie when he just gives that nice little heartfelt speech, and then he dives over so that his men stop to try and rescue him, and they take off, and you get a bit of a fade to black, and then it fades back in, where we're gonna have some kind of like final. Piecing together,
epilogue kind of thing.
Yeah, an epilogue type thing.
So I want to propose a few things. First, I want to propose a scene a la the movie Heat, where Super Admiral and Admiral get together to talk in a very tense conversation. Like maybe Admiral Meowkins sends for Super Admiral Meowkins, and they come over and they have a sit down, and that's where some heart to hearts found out. He's like, I didn't know you were dead. I didn't know you were alive. I thought you were dead, blah, blah, blah. And then we find out that Admiral Meowkins has been obsessed with his father. He's got all these newspaper clippings hanging in his room or whatever. I don't know. Right. So then they part ways. And that's when Admiral Meowkins starts getting a little bit soft on the idea. Then when, but then his dad's like, I love you, son, but I'm going to have to take you down. He was like, get him out of here. And he gets out of here. Right. Then when they come at the end, in the final scene when the reactor's shooting the lights out because the door got kicked open or something like that, and then they're saving one another, there's a moment of weakness, and then we could plot this out where first mate Callie Calypso tries to do the mutiny, like you'd mentioned before, Keith, with the mutiny, and then he or she ends up killing the dad. Right.
Wow.
So then the dad falls, and then the big battle is between Admiral Meowkins and First Mate Calico Calypso.
Now, do we know for sure that the father is killed?
We don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask. What if it, got shot and the cat falls overboard?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Calico is the one who opens the door to the reactor room.
Yeah.
It shines out some light. The father dives after the light, and he goes overboard. We don't actually see what happens to him.
Saves the sun.
Well, no, that's when the Hooktail
okay.
comes in. The Hooktail comes and saves him, and there's a moment of like, oh, I've been wasting my life,
You care.
no, son, blah blah blah, and there's a moment of weakness there, and that's when
This is where he goes from being kind of like the bad guy. He now switches around, like we said before.
yes, it's the heel to face turn.
They save each other, have a heart-to-heart, like on the side of a ship or something, and then they get back up, and then there's a gunshot. J.K. Meowkins falls overboard, and then triggers the final battle between Admiral Meowkins and Calico Calypso.
Okay, yeah. So J.K. Senior, Super Admiral.
J.K. Senior fellow. Sorry, yeah, there are so many Meowkins. Super Admiral falls overboard.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can assume that he's dead because he was shot and falls over, and
you see blood.
You'll get Admiral Meowkins will look over like frantically looking for him, doesn't see him anywhere,
and then there's some tertiary character who's just like, nah, he's gone.
Yeah, and then it'll be another crew member who's kind of like at one of the lower levels looking out the window. It's like he's gone.
It's the chef.
Don't see.
No. Yeah. Looks overboard, and there's another head that pops out through a window below him, looks up, and just shakes its head sadly.
Can he do like a scream, like a longing scream, like Super Admiral?
Yes,
Daddy. Yes, absolutely.
And then he turns
Super.
He has the final. He has the final showdown then with Calico Calypso, who has been leaning towards his love interest for the most part, but it turns out she was just cozying up to him to really steal this book.
What a
she
twist.
really wants the ball of twine, and he was just doing it to get back at his father. Where she's doing it because she actually wants to take it and sell it on the black market, where it'll be worth a lot of money.
What if the giant world's largest ball of twine actually houses something at its core that nobody knows about?
There's a big diamond.
Like Calico Calypso knew about this, and so did Super Admiral, and that's why he was protecting it. So,
the water's a little choppy through all this. That ball is kind of rolling back and forth, and the end part of this whole battle is when he pushes her. He pushes her off of him, and he rolls out of the way as the ball of twine rolls through and basically crushes her.
And crushes her, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so they're fighting on the deck of a pirate ship.
I love it.
An old-timey pirate ship that's fueled, powered by a nuclear reactor of some sci-fi technology. There's the world's largest ball of twine rolling all over the place. It's huge, and it's crushing people in its path. It's like breaking things. It knocks over the mast just to show its mass. And
it's kind of breaking the ship a little bit,
breaking the ship apart, and then it eventually... so now here... what gets said right before she gets crushed? Like,
does she know she's about to die?
No, she thinks she has. He has the upper hand.
Yes, and then
she says something, and he has to have a witty comeback.
Yes, and he as he scurries out of the way, like really quick, like cats do, and then she gets crushed, and he's got to say something like something
catty,
about getting crushed.
I was going to say maybe when he leaps out of the way, like she says something like, "Hi, I've got you now." He's like on his back or something, like, "I've got you now. I defeated you. You're on your back now," and like springs out of the way, and he says, "You know what they say about cats? They always land on 4 feet."
Or he makes reference that she says something like, "I've got you now." He manages to get away from her right before the thing hits, and he goes, "I bet you wish you had 9 lives."
So something just like that. Now, let's say the whole time, the conversation between the two of them is how Admiral Meowkins, through his history, is down to 4 lives or something like that, right? And then and she says something like blah, 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 and he jumps out of the way, is like, "Now I'm down to 3," and she gets crushed or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Will we have little flashbacks throughout the entire movie showing where he's kind of... Obviously, the first life he lost is when the boating accident with his father, where his father thinks he's dead anyway. And
that could be like his coming up, like as he's hard. He's like, "I'm a cat, I only got 8 lives left," and that's his story. That's how he tells his background, his backstory.
Exactly, yeah. And I think there's got to be like some like a little monologue type thing of maybe starting off the whole film where he's like, they say most cats have 9 lives, but let me tell you how I only have 8, or something along those lines. But that's how he ends up killing her. He kills her at the end by saying that, gives the witty line about, "Don't you wish you had 7 lives at this point," or whatever he would have left.
Like that's 7.
Yeah.
And so then it crushes her, and they both fall off the edge of the boat, right? And thus he loses.
No. I mean, it all stays on the boat still.
Oh, I thought a key thing was that he wouldn't end up with the ball.
No, I think he still does at this point in time. It just, after she gets killed, and he says his little line, you kind of get like the camera will start to pan out, and we'll see the boat take off slowly. Towards
the boat's getting
towards
smashed by the ball,
but it still gets away. Now that he's gotten back, the fight
creaks
stops.
away.
It hasn't been completely destroyed. It coasts off into the horizon as we fade to black. Then we come back for our little epilogue moment.
Now, Keith, I feel like I know what you want to do in the epilogue. Maybe. I have an idea for the epilogue.
What do you think I want to do?
I think you want to bring the father back.
That is one way to go about doing it, yes.
Is what I was thinking, at least.
The other way to go about doing it is you don't bring the father back now. You bring him back as a cyborg cat person in our sequel.
Oh,
but that's depending where.
I thought,
and he breaks Admiral Meowkins out of jail.
Maybe I was thinking an endearing moment, like I wish I had more time with him, and then the door opens. You do, and then that's it. But no, cyborg cat.
No. I think I like the idea. I was going with the idea, the very cliched idea that so at the end, yes. They'd be kind of like on a beach, and you'd see the ahoy hoy, beaten, broken, and battered with the twine sitting there. It's anchored off the shore. And he comes up on shore, and he's just sits down. Maybe he's got himself a jug of milk or something like that, and he's kicking back a little bit, and he's thinking about his father, and that's when he realizes that his father is washed up a little bit down the coast or something like that. He sees a body laying down the coast when he gets over there. It's his father who has survived, barely survived the gunshot, but there's a reunion. Or maybe he doesn't survive the gunshot completely. He's alive, but he's going to die in his son's arms.
Oh.
And then
I'm not sure what I want more.
And then Jonathan K. Meowkins now calls himself Super Admiral. He buries his father there on that island, heads back, gets on the boat, and it takes off again. But that somebody else knows that his father's there, and that's how we're going to get to the cyborg father in the sequel.
Catnip comes.
Yes.
She
comes
gets
back
him out of the ground because she loves him.
Exactly. And also, she knows that he's a great mind as far as security and military, and they just have to eliminate some of his humanistic flaws. Because cats like
why?
It's the human side of him that made him want his son back in his life.
And
he cares too much. He needs to be indifferent like a cat.
They're digging up this cat. They're digging up this cat, and they're like, "Why? Why do we need him?" And Catnip's just like, "We'll need him for the war's coming," and that's how we leave it.
That's the post credit. So we had the epilogue.
Yes.
Boom. Then we run with the credits. Post credit is the barge
totally not related to the movie at all.
Something ominous. There's a war. Can
yes, there we go.
Can the ball of twine? This is just a aesthetics thing. Can the ball of twine come to rest on the figurehead, and then any sequels that come out from there? It's this ball of twine is now the figurehead of the ship. You know what I mean by figurehead? Is
so the
statue?
The world's largest ball of twine is a statue on the front of a ship.
Yes. Well, but the ball of twine is only here for the first movie, right? It's not going to be around for.
I don't know.
I assume he's sold it by the time, because he needs some more. He needs some more pirate money at some point, and he's sold it by the time we get to any sequels.
Maybe
there's a war coming. There's apparently a war coming, from what we know in the post credits. He's going to need to be able to fund whatever he needs to.
Or it's maybe broken and he finds the diamond inside and it's just giant.
Ah,
And he's just like, oh,
well, it's
I
been
know why
rolling
she
around
wanted that.
and battering around and everything, and he does find this giant treasure inside of it of some sort.
Yes, of course. All right, yeah, that is better, yes. The one reminder he has left of this is that he takes his father's hat and wears it, and now he is Super Admiral.
Mm-hmm.
And the hat says Super Admiral.
Yeah.
He wears the.
It's just a trucker's hat.
It doesn't say trashy like on the butt. It's Super Admiral, right?
World's greatest Super Admiral.
Yep.
He's got that mug from now on.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like it.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So we are going to quickly recap while Drew, you, and Derek put on your thinking caps about a title. This seems to be, especially, Drew, if you've listened to a lot of our normal pop-up film casts, this is Derek's strong suit. He tends to come up with, I think, 9 out of 10 of our titles for our film festivals. So this should be right up his alley. While you guys think of that, I will quickly recap that we rolled the dice early. The first one fell on the floor, so we couldn't count that. Second one, we rolled action adventure. And the subgenre we went with was a combo of a swashbuckler pirate movie and a heist. And basically, our movie, which we'll be naming shortly, will follow an adventure, the action adventure of Admiral Jonathan K. Meowkins, a half cat, half human pirate who goes by the name Captain Hooktail because of an accident he had when he was younger. Part of his tail got chopped off. He has replaced it with a hook. And him and his crew, led by first mate Calico Calypso, are going to try and do their piratey thing on a barge that's carrying the largest ball of twine across the Pacific, not the Pacific, the Pacific Ocean, because this is a world similar to ours, but not exact. They are on the SS Ahoy Hoy, and they are going to try and steal this from the barge that is captained by Katniss Nip, but overall seeing security is the head of Stevia, is Super Admiral J.K. Meowkins, who is the father of our main character, father who doesn't know that his son is still alive, and in the process they will reconnect. And right before his father is killed off by the mutinous Calico Calypso, who in her final battle with J.K. Meowkins, with Jonathan K. Meowkins, will get crushed by said ball of twine, which then cracks open and will reveal the treasure, a large diamond or something inside. In our epilogue, Admiral Meowkins will kind of anchor his boat off of a little island where he has, I guess, seen the body of his father, has been washed up on shore. They'll have one little heart-to-heart moment before his father passes away and passes on the title of Super Admiral to him, and he'll bury him and walk away. Post credits, Captain Katniss Nip and her barge, they will come and dig up said the original Super Admiral J.K. Meowkins for potentially some further use in an oncoming war. But you'll have to save that for the sequel of this movie, which we are calling
Not
Spartacus.
Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. Damn it, I had one. I forgot it. 3 Treats to the Wind.
3 Treats to the Wind.
I don't. It's just a loose cat term.
It's about the only problem here.
Yeah, I'm not good. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's only maybe the most important thing.
Is this where we title it "Cats in the Cradle"? Would that be? Could we use that as a title? Because I mean, that's the big father-son song, right?
Are we acknowledging that he's a cat?
After this movie's released and everybody loves it, you'll still have the nerdy people who are like, well, there's a big plot hole. They never talk about the fact he's a cat. Nobody ever mentions this through the entire movie. There's no holy crap. There's no holy crap, he's a cat moment. The only 2 people who ever recognize that they're cats are the father and the son.
Well, they don't know that they're cats. They think they're people. I'm going to Google pirate terms here real fast.
That's what I've been doing, and let me tell you, it's kind of tough.
Based pirate.
Where did I put my?
This is the one thing I'm absolutely terrible about. Only when we do the show, I could come up with names of things all day long, except for when the pressure's on. Oh,
Catting down the hatches.
I'm kind of liking that one.
So we're really going to lean into the cat pun for the title.
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're the one who came up with. You're the one who came up with Katniss Nip being our being a character here, and that the backstory of our main character is that he grew up in an area called the Litter Box. Yet you don't want us to lean into a cat pun for the title.
Mm-hmm. I am. My vote goes towards Sea Dogs.
How about Scurvy Dog?
I you know what I like I think I like Sea Dogs because it's really first of all that's going to throw people off completely, but I can also imagine better you have like Sea Dogs.
It is really,
the sequel will be like Sea Dogs : something.
Mm-hmm.
Or
a cat out of 8 lives or something like a.
Actually, no, maybe we should pass on Sea Dogs because in the sequel is there a possibility that we would actually meet some Sea Dogs. So whatever it is, like the sequel, because that could be the war that's coming. Is there are some dogs? We're really going too far into the sequel, but so that Sea Dogs should probably be like the that shouldn't be the main title of the movie. That should be the colon part of any potential sequel to this. Rise of the Sea Dogs.
The colon part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Here we go. I'm looking at under its pirate lingo on piratevoyages.com. Cat O' Tails
is a whip.
It's a whip.
Yes,
yeah.
but that's what they refer to it. But instead of TAILS, I think we spell it TALES because we can then work ourselves into 9 movies eventually,
or 8.
8, yes.
Cat O' Tails. Because he has the 8.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cat or I like it. Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, people are going to love this movie.
Or are we overlooking like a very easy one here? We could just call it Hooktail.
I like it.
Sure.
I mean we could.
Or we could call it like the Adventures of Captain Hooktail across the Pacific.
Cat O' Tails, and it's TALES, and then colon the rise.
The Adventures of Captain
the Adventures of Captain Hooktail.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, or the Rise.
Boom.
Rise of Captain Hooktail.
Sure. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. I think this went over very well. I'm very happy. This is pretty much what I envisioned. A little bit of collective chaos, but we came up with I think a very fun theme for a movie. I actually really want to see this movie now, or at least a couple clips where I can see some of these key scenes and these heartfelt moments shake out. But again, it is it is the Cat O' Tails, The Adventures of Captain Hooktail, and it is a great pirate heist movie coming to a theater near you. It's still in production, so we can't tell you everything yet as far as when you're going to see it. But excellent job, gentlemen. Drew.
Yes.
I would like to thank you for coming on board. I didn't realize I used that pun right there, but yeah. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, bringing your expertise as a character and world builder from your Headline Heroes podcast and coming out and helping us out with this very special one-off episode where we make a pop-up film for the Pop-Up Film Cast. I think it went pretty good, and like I said, we will definitely we decided to workshop a sequel to this. We will bring you back for more cat fun and cat goodness. Tell us where if people if they don't agree with maybe some of your cat related humor throughout this episode, where can they get a hold of you? Where can they get a hold of the Headline Heroes and all that good stuff?
Yep. So if you want to hear more of me, absolutely check out Headline Heroes. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. Chances are we are there. And then I'll throw out our Twitter, and it's at headline_heroes. Yeah, if you come across any articles that you think are crazy, shoot them our way. We would love to use them.
All right. Excellent. Thank you again. Another person I can't say thank you enough to is my co-host, Derek. Derek, thank you for coming on again. And thank you for taking in this wild and crazy ride that we had here today and putting in a lot of the key details. If people want to know more about you and your cat fancies, where can they get a hold of you?
You can always find me on Twitter. It's Derek, then the number 9, and then the word 9. You can or you can listen to my other podcast, The Wild Pitch. Every other Wednesday, myself and some entrepreneurial types, we take 3 random elements and use those to inspire ridiculous pitches for movies, products, whatever, really. We are in year 2 and we're on the road. We're doing some wacky stuff. So come and check it out. Drew, when does this come out, Keith? This
will come out
March 13th.
It's a Tuesday, Derek. No, it's next Tuesday, March 13th.
So March 13th. Today is March 13th. Tomorrow is March 14th, where the 3rd episode of year 2 featuring Drew comes out.
Wow.
Drew will be on. And that's synergistic in a way there, Keith. So you're on the same page. So all the Drew you can handle.
Yeah, if you really like Drew and you can't get enough Headline Heroes or this episode, then you jump right on over to a little Wild Pitch action there.
Yeah. March 14th is Learn About Butterflies Day, and we're celebrating somewhere in this great nation of ours.
Jeezy Pete's. That we have some really odd holidays out there.
I don't know if it's like a holiday. It's on a calendar though, so
it's an observance.
Yes,
it's a daily observance.
You're
still gonna get mail tomorrow, Keith. Don't worry.
I don't get much.
They shut the schools down.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's Atlanta. If it rains the wrong way, they'll shut it down and blame it on Learn About Butterfly Day. Yeah,
I would definitely stay inside if it was raining any other way other than down.
All right, that's always a good train of thought to keep in mind. All right. Well, again,
way to go, Drew.
All right. Yeah. Excellent.
But yeah, Wild Pitch Podcast. I forgot to say wildpitchpodcast.com and Wild Pitch Cast on Twitter.
All right.
Boom.
Again, in addition to that, I would definitely I'd like to thank myself for all the editing that I'm going to have to do on this episode. And if you would like to talk to me more about the movie that we came up here, or if you would like to maybe tell me that maybe you should go back to your normal format, get me up on Twitter. It's you can get me at KG3030 over on Twitter, or you can reach out to us at Pop-Up Filmcast on Twitter as well. You can even email us over at popupfilmcast.com at gmail.com. You can also email us over there to send in some listener submissions. Our very next episode is going to be based on the year you were born. Send in a quick little clip telling us about your favorite movie from the year you were born. We're going to do a listener draft versus Derek and my choices from the year of 1975.
Old. I'm old.
Yes, old. Every day a little bit older. Did you enjoy the show? I suggest that I hope that you did enjoy this one. Please subscribe, rate, and review. We would love some feedback, and also tell a friend. More importantly, go back and listen to the back catalog of what the typical pop-up film cast sounds like, where Derek and I and his team guest sit down and fabricate fictitious film festivals based on some random topic of the week. Those are always fun as well. But this again, very special episode. We went off the rails a little bit to do a official pop-up film as opposed to a pop-up film festival. I said you can subscribe, rate, and review us. We're on iTunes, we're on Podbean, we're on Stitcher, and we are now on the Google Play. We're there as well now, officially. So you can find us in even more places. Just use whatever catcher service you have to do there. In the meantime, send us your submissions for who you think should play some of our key characters of Admiral Meowkins, Super Admiral Meowkins, Captain Katniss Nip, and First Mate Calico Calypso, or any other maybe key side characters you think we overlooked. We'll take any and all submissions on that. Again, Twitter or over emailing us again, popupfilmcast@gmail.com. In the meantime, get together with your life mate, your family, your friends, or whomever, and watch some real movies, not just these fictitious ones that we put together today. Until next time, I said good day, sir.